Alright, so it's time again to do another cost update. I know you guys liked that last cost video that I had. This is just going to be showing you some of the added cost here since I've added some corals, since I've added some fish, different chemicals, different things I've had to buy to keep this tank running. Basically, I'm just going to go over everything, do it the same way as I did the last time, kind of show you a picture of the item, put a price on it. Then it'll show the, at the end we'll add it all up, and then we'll see what we spent on it again. May even go back to the total on the other video and add it to it as well, so you can see where we're at right now. Seems like the cost just continues. Me personally, I really think it's worth it. I enjoy the hobby. I enjoy watching the fish and putting the corals in the tank. It's really rewarding for me. Some people may not think so, some might. Either way, we're going to be doing this video on the cost, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get started. Thought I'd give you a little quick look of the mess I got going here with stuff. Just give you a quick look. We'll go and we'll do a little better job here, but just give you an idea. This is just a pile of receipts I saved so I could make this video and remember where everything was and what it cost. This is just a handful of the items that I've added. Alright, so let's get started here and we'll start with each one. Well, as you know, we always have to start with the salt. This is currently the salt that I'm using up to this video here. I did actually order some different salt. I will be switching this up here shortly. There is a video to come about the salt. I did have some requests on it. Hopefully I can do some justice to what they're asking for. At this stage in the game, this probably isn't a complete necessity for my tank, as I don't have a lot of corals in there yet. It's a fairly new tank. All my levels are still up there. I do enjoy watching the corals eat though, so I did actually make an investment in this just to watch it. This is another investment I purchased here to watch the corals eat. If you haven't seen the video I made with this, you should probably go back to that video and watch it. There's a mushroom in there that just goes crazy for this stuff. Everything seems to eat it, even the fish, but the mushroom thing completely just can't get enough. I decided to pick up a couple tools here, a tweezer for moving stuff around so I don't have to get my hand all the way in the tank. A little scraper there to move the gravel around in case it gets blown around by the power head, or I get a little red slime that I want to kind of kick around quick. That little brush I kind of zip tied on there. I basically just did that so that I could brush any loose debris off the rock or the coral, anything I had there. I did also buy this. To be honest with you though, I have kind of used super glue for what I've originally was buying it for. That's why it's still in the package. I have another plan for it here for maybe even an upcoming video. You'll see what I might be doing with it. So it might not be all for loss. As you can see here, I've added the Salifert iodine test, and then I also did add some Lugio's iodine. I had a little bit of I basically had no iodine. Very, very little traceable matter. I sent in a water sample because my zoas were really struggling, and I was trying to figure out what exactly it was. Everything come back pretty much spot on. A couple things were higher than they should have been, but the one thing that did, there was no iodine, or very little. So I did get this test kit and started to dose a little iodine. It has helped definitely with my zoas. If you have, I'm not going to try to recommend it to anybody because it is pretty touchy stuff. I mean, you can kill your whole tank with it. That's why I bought a test kit as well as the iodine. And I asked a lot of questions to a lot of people that have dealt with it here before I even started. It has been pretty successful for me though. And as part of the best part of having the whole tank, I think, is when you get the blue lights on. It's at nighttime and the corals are all glowing in their different colors. This isn't by any means the state-of-the-art viewing lenses. However, it does work quite well. I may have a video coming with that as well. A lot of the stuff you see here, I will, like this for example, most likely be doing a video in regards to this. I do have my phone is actually the one I use for this is a Galaxy S10 Plus. I know a lot of people have iPhones and stuff. The settings would be different, but I've been trying to fine tune mine in. Once I do, I plan on making a video on it just to give some overview on it, help anybody out that may have one that's struggling. Because I know when I first put them on, it did not do justice for my corals, but I've slowly gotten to where I've figured out which lens and where the light should be, because you can adjust the light on the tank and you can also adjust the settings in your phone. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment. You don't want to miss the videos coming when I do stuff on this stuff. As we all know, when you add corals, a good coral dip is always essential. You don't want to put unwanted pests in your tank. You want to try to get that as much under control as possible. As you can see, and I did a coral dip video on it here. If you want to, you can check that out. But I do that with it. Whenever I add a coral, I will always dip them. I also had bought this phosphat-E. One of the reasons I did is I couldn't seem to get a handle on my phosphates. I wanted to try something, and this stuff works fantastic. I have a video showing the progress of it, step by step, day by day, when I'm doing the test to see how it drops. Realistically, you could drop your phosphate down to, well, practically zero overnight if you wanted to. I don't know that it would be good to do on your tank. I did it very slow over a period of time, and I've been maintaining it there. But if you're having phosphate problems, this could be the answer for you. This is another one that I bought. I did a video on as well. Basically, I had a lot of problems when I was with my water, actually, after I dumped it in there. And it wasn't from this. I want to be clear on that. At least I don't believe it was. But I had phosphate problems and hair algae, and I used different kind of stuff in there, and it kind of affected the coralline in a bottle. And the reason I know that is because after I got everything cleared up and I got my water perimeters back to where they need to be, now I can actually see some of this coralline starting to show up. It took me probably a whole month longer than they say, but in the same sense, it is coming, and I believe that I was the reason that it didn't work immediately. I did purchase 6 of these as well. I just have 2 of them here. The other ones are in the tanks. They were just, I was running out of the quick drilled holes that I made in my rock, and I didn't have something handy to glue down the frags at the time. And I kind of wanted to see how it would look on the glass, that type of thing, so I bought 6 of these. They do work okay. There is a couple of corals I like in them. For the most part though, in the tank that I have with the round front, you can't really put them on the front, and then if you put them in the back or on the sides, they're not ideal. I'm still working on locations for them. You'll see more when I show the tank with them in it. Again, this is one of those purchases I used in hopes to help remove the phosphate when I was having the phosphate problem. My phosphate was just basically, at the time, too out of control for this to do anything. I am planning on, now that I have it more controlled, I am planning on trying to just, I guess basically you could say, trying to add these in and see if they do anything at that time. They didn't really do a lot for my tank at the time I tried to use them, but again, phosphate was, it was way out of whack. I did also purchase this as a little bit of flake food. Kind of like this flake food. I don't know if you've ever used it before, but it does have some bigger chunks in it. It kind of floats around in there. The fish seem to really like it. I haven't had a fish yet that hasn't eaten it. Can't forget, we got to keep these critters fed. So I got the frozen mysis shrimp and some bloodworms. Everybody seems to like that. This is fluconazole. As you know from my previous videos, if you take a look at it, I did purchase this and I used it to rid my tank of hair algae and bryopsis. And I will tell you one thing, that this does work. It does definitely work. It only took I suppose about 10 days roughly, and there was no hair algae in that tank whatsoever. This is for a future video as well. People were asking about lighting and how the phone app works and the adjustments and that type of thing. I did order a second light. It's been a struggle to get here. As you can see, I have two here. There's a whole story behind that will be in the video, I can assure you. Make sure you subscribe to catch that one because you'll really enjoy that one. I went through quite a bit, let's just say, to get to this point, and I only ordered one, so one of them is actually free, so you don't want to miss out what happened on there. So make sure when I put up that video you check it out. Also made a purchase of these to help clear up some water, hopefully work on some of that cyano in my tank. And of course everyone needs one of these when doing water changes. So I had to pick one of these up. I got an extra small one so that I could suck out small amounts of water and clean as many surfaces as possible. Also ended up needing to get one of these here so that I could transfer fish from the quarantine to the tank or into quarantine, as well as to fish out all them mollies that were taken home in that tank for so long. As you can imagine, I ran out of reagent for my phosphate, so I did have to buy a box of phosphate reagent. With all the testing I was doing there for a while, trying to get rid of that phosphate before I finally got it under control. This is actually all I got left, 2 packets. I got to order some more. As you can see, there's some fish in here. There's one sitting there right there. You can see 2 of my turbo snails back there hard at work. There's snails all over the tank. I got 2 different free cleanup crew packs when I ordered. You know, a variety of snails. I don't even know for sure what they're all called. But they're scattered all over the tank here. These are just the 2 big ones that I wanted to point out. And if you look down here, if I can get there, I do have about a half a dozen of these little blue-legged hermits in here. They're constantly eating and cleaning. We do have this little guy hiding around back. He seems to have found that spot way in the back where you can never see him, and he just thinks it's the greatest thing ever. This is from the video right before this. That's the Kato reactor. I will just put a price on there for everything involved, just as one price. I don't have it out where I can itemize it. Obviously it's all in the back of the tank. It's actually hard to even get a photo of it to where, given the location and where it's at in my tank. Okay, here's one of the corals that I put in here. It's a pink Gonopora. I apologize for the glare here. I was trying to get a good picture. It's kind of retracted right now. And here's that green hairy mushroom. It's really only green at night. I will try to get a night video either coming or show a little glimpse of it at the end here. Here's the hammer coral. This is another one that was added to the tank since the last purchase. And then right here was one of the mushrooms that was added. If you can see up here on the side, that was the organ. Somehow we get out of the way. Okay, that's the organ coral. And then in the back, it's a little bit of glare. I have a hard time getting back to that. Let me see if I can. That's the green star polyp right there. Here's one of the Bengai cardinals. Taking you over to the group. Here's the other 4. This Xena was added as well. It's all squirrely from the water, but it is doing really well. I'm thinking about moving it off the rock before it gets carried away and putting it like in one of them clips on the side of the glass, because I've heard rumors of how they can kind of take things over, and I don't want that to happen. And there's this guy. For some reason I'm drawing a blank on what it's called right here, but as you can tell, the tips there, you see them kind of green. At night that whole thing just glows green. It's really a pretty thing. This come in here, I'm actually not 100% sure what it is. If you know what it is, put a comment down below. I'd be interested to hear what the theories are. It came in as a free coral on one of them shipments, and it's growing. There was only one little tiny one when I got it, but it's really hasn't done much of anything, and there's not much color to it. So if you know what this is, or maybe this ain't even a coral, maybe it's some kind of thing I don't want in my tank, let me know. Feel free to comment. I'd be interested. Alright, so here's some of the zoas I have. Most of these zoas, when they come in, there was just 1 or 2. They've already, multiplied quite a bit. I don't know the particulars on the exact names of each one of these zoas. I know I should brush up on that for the video here, but I don't. Here's another one that's right beside it. This one came in with 2. It's only done 1. It hasn't been growing very fast, but... And then here's another one. Now this one is really... this one is actually really multiplied, because there was only like 1 or 2 on this whole piece. It's pretty much covered the frag. Then we got this one down here. Looks like he's getting attacked a little bit by the turbo, so... And then as we go up here, here's one of the... This was actually I want to say a button coral, which it's still not dead. It's hanging on there, but it's like seconds away from dying. I've had him, for quite a while, but I don't know exactly what happened. Something did. I also had this one down here. I actually put this one in the tank here, down here, just to put it on the video so that you could see, because even though it is dead and it died on me, it is an expense. As well as this one is also a dead one. I can't seem to remember what this one is called. It was just green. It had really no polyps or anything, just kind of like a flat green chunk of rock. I actually killed that one in hydrogen peroxide myself. It had a weird algae on it, and I didn't want to put it in my tank because I wasn't sure what to expect. So I did that whole hydrogen peroxide dip thing they're talking about, and evidently with this particular coral, that's not a good thing, because he lasted about a day and he was done. And then here's also another one. This is also another one that came in free. Of course, it's also a goner. I never did know what this one exactly was either. It did have a really small, tiny green dot in one of the 3 chambers when it came in. Otherwise, it was pretty well gone. I thought I'd put it in here just to see what happens, but obviously you've seen what happened. And then I have this little bubble coral here. Apologize for these fish, they seem to want. The last videos that I've done showing any of the tank off is when it was pretty much well encrusted with every kind of bad algae you could think of. As you can see, there's still some algae in there. Very, very minor algae compared to what I have had. It's on its way out. The light here, I got the wrong setting for the glare, but let's see if I can get... On here you can see this rock up here has really started to get the purple coralline algae. It's hard to see in the camera, but it's starting to grow on these rocks as well. So I'm definitely getting coralline algae. I'm definitely starting to turn the corner, getting ahead of the game. I just thought I'd give you a little quick update here as to what's happening. Of course, I still have a little bit of that red stuff. That's about the only spot it grows right now, and I kind of brush it around here, suck it out when I can. Otherwise, if you notice on the rocks, it's pretty well, I mean, there's some stringers on there, different spots, but for the most part, if you look at that one rock in the back here, I still have a little bit growing on that and some on that black piece, but otherwise, I just wanted to give you a quick picture of what the tank is currently looking at, because I know that the last time you've seen this tank here, it was in pretty sad shape, I think. I mean, I know it was just kind of a new phase, but we're getting it. All right, so you've seen, you know, item by item what's been added to the tank, where it's come. I'm hoping I got everything. I'm thinking good, strong possibility I forgot a few things. If I did, I guess maybe if we have another video, we'll catch it in that one. Otherwise, I'm going to have the, you know, if you can see the totals, they'll be on the screen here. I'm not sure exactly where yet. I haven't decided where I'm going to put them. But either way, you'll see them somewhere. Just be looking on the screen. Otherwise, you know, we'll have the totals on there. I'm going to have a, you know, you'll see the total for the actual tank. And then you'll see the total for what I've added since, and then a total for the two to get combined. It adds up pretty quick. You know, it's definitely not a hobby that you want to get into if you're not, you know, willing to spend a little money. As I said in the previous video, this tank that I have, it's 32.5 gallons, very small on the scale of a saltwater tank. I mean, there's people that have, you know, 50, 100, 200, 300, you know, once in a while, you know, you see different people that have even larger tanks than that. You know, just the cost of the sump, some of the, you know, items that they have in there, you know, all my items together wouldn't buy one of their, you know, certain filters or a protein skimmer or that kind of thing. So, you know, this tank is about the right size for me. It's about what I want to, you know, can afford and what I can, you know, maintain. You know, would I like to go bigger, have a massive tank? Yes, definitely. But at this point, I mean, this is a good way to get back into the hobby here. I was out of it for a while. I'm just trying to get back in. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I know the last time I had a lot of people request that I do some future updates when I start adding corals, and you know, to give you an idea what the cost is. There were a couple of fish here that I added the jawfish. They, you know, one of them, I got into a fight as soon as I put them in the tank. One of them killed the other one, and then the other one hides in the rock, and it's such a rare occurrence to see him. I did happen to catch him here the other day, but wasn't able to get him on camera. So I know he's still in there. You know, they're a nice fish, but right now, so far, my experience is that they hide all the time, so you can't really see him. But I mean, hopefully, maybe he'll get used to things and he'll pop back out. We'll see. As you've seen, I still have plenty of room for corals, plenty of room for you know, additions to the tank. As you've seen, I had the lights there, so I'll be adding some more light to the tank. I'll have a video coming in regards to the LEDs. You're not going to want to miss that one, because there's a little story about how I ended up with a free one. It's going to be interesting all on its own. I guess, as always, like, subscribe, comment. You know, if nothing else, you know, check the like, you know, give it a like, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess, if you don't like the video, whichever, just so there's some interaction. You know, I get more play through YouTube, you know, with the thumbs up and thumbs down or comments. You know, it shows that people are watching. YouTube likes that. It helps them to show my video to more people. you know, if you want to support the channel in any way, you know, the best way to do it at this point for me is, you know, like, subscribe, and comment. It's much appreciated. Anybody out there that's already subscribed, I do want to thank you. If you haven't subscribed, you know, please consider doing so. It would mean a lot. Until next time, we'll see you.